So let's now talk about DP, that is dynamic programming. So what exactly DP is? So if we talk about in the simplest form, DP is entirely based on recursion. The very first thing is it is entirely based on recursion. Now, if it is based on recursion, it is the strategy in algo design to write more efficient algorithms. The problem with recursion was actually like whenever you solve any problem using recursion, it always it will you will see there will be two problems while working with the recursion. One is the overlapping subproblem that we'll be discussing about what exactly this problem is, and one is a substructure property. So there are two major problems that generally comes up with the recursion. One is a overlapping subproblem and another one is the substructure property. So we'll be discussing about these two problems. So using DP, we are going to solve the same questions that we had in recursion, but in a more efficient way. Okay. So when we actually use DP, when you have to count something, when do we use DP? When we have to count something, like you have to count ways of doing something, number of ways. You are finding out the number of ways to do a particular thing, just like we did in the dice count or another questions. Or it could be helpful in minimizing or maximizing the values, like minimize the profit, maximize the profit, minimize or maximize the values. And in yes, no questions, you can also try this thing. But most importantly, mainly it is used for the first thing, that when you have to count something, you have to count the number of ways of doing something. The most popular use of DP is there. So if we are using recursion, recursion is able to solve almost all the problems. But then why we need DP? To understand the requirement of DP, will be going back to understand the example of Fibonacci series, how exactly we implemented the Fibonacci series. So let us first understand the need of DP. So suppose if we talk about the requirement of DP, we need to understand the problem of Fibonacci series first. So let's write a code for Fibonacci series. Static int fib, and we are going to pass n. Then in this, there was a base case, and the base case was if n is double equals to 0 or n is double equals to 1. So we are supposed to return n in that case. Otherwise, we are going to take a variable x, call this function to n minus 1, then call again this function do n minus 2, and then we have a z variable that is x plus y, and then we return z. So this is the simple implementation of Fibonacci series. This is a Fibonacci series. Let's build the tree of Fibonacci series, because using the tree you'll be able to understand the problem with recursion. So there are two recursive calls that we have. So we'll be starting the recursion, the tree with f5. Let's say the n was 5. So it is going to call n minus 1. So it becomes f4. Then it becomes f3. Then it becomes f2. Then it becomes f1. And when it becomes f1, it is going to return you back something. So first f5 calls f4, it calls f3, it calls f2, it calls f1. Simple enough. F1 is going to return f2. What exactly it is going to return? The value of n. N is 1. Then it calls f0. And when it calls f0, it returns 0 obviously. So 1 plus 0 is 1. So it returns 1 here. Now it calls F2, sorry, F1, that is 3 minus 2, that is 1, F1. It is going to return 1. It becomes 1 plus 1, 2 here. 2 is returned. Now calls F4. F4 calls F2, F2 calls F1 and F0. Now, isn't it? We have already implemented. Just look at this thing. The same thing we did earlier. So why we are doing this again? Now try to understand the problem with the recursion that we have already implemented this call F2. Now again we have to implement this F2 call. It will again return 1. It will again return 0. 1 plus 0 is 1. So it will return 1 just like it did earlier. And now it is going to return 2 plus 1, 3. Alright. Now understand this part. F5 will call F3. Again repetition. F3 is already executed. It has to again expand F3 for F2 and F1. That F2 is again expanded. See, F2 is called here, then here, and now again we are calling F2. It will be again executed for F1 and F0. So again it will return 1, it will return 0. So it becomes 1 plus 0, 1. Then it returns 1. That is 1 plus 1, 2. So finally it returns 2. Earlier it also returned 2. So why we are calling this again and again? Finally 3 plus 2 returns you 5. This is the implementation of Fibonacci series. But now try to understand the problem. The problem with this Fibonacci series is we are actually facing a problem of this repetition, that this part is being executed 3 times. Just look at this. The same call has been put it into the stack. It has been pushed already into the stack. Now whenever it sees F2, it is calling it again, and every time we are getting the same result. So why actually we are calling this again and again? And not even F2, we are calling F3 2 times. This is known as overlapping subproblem. All right, this is known as overlapping subproblem. I hope you are able to understand this problem statement. So now we know the first reason why we need DP, because there is this overlapping subproblem. This is the first problem. And the second problem using recursion is that every time you have to build this substructure property. Now the substructure property for Fibonacci series is Fn equals to Fn minus 1 plus Fn minus 2. That is the recurrence relation every time you have to build to solve a problem. That is a substructure property. This is second problem with the recursion. This is why we are moving towards the DP to get rid of these two problems. One is the overlapping subproblem, that every time you have to call, you are calling this thing 3 times. And then there is this substructure property, which is actually the problem when you always have to build this kind of a recurrence relation. That's why we need DP. So it's like in 1950, Bellman is a mathematician who invented DP. So the idea was like, why not compute it once and store it and reuse it? Just like we do everything in programming, when we know something is going to be repeated, so store it in some variable and then just you reuse that thing. So DP offers you two different ways. There are two different ways to solve the problem using DP. Okay, let me tell you. DP offers two solutions. One is known as memoization. Another one is known as tabulation. Memoization is also known as top-down approach, and tabulation is known as bottom-up approach. We will discuss why it is known as so. In memoization, it says that you can use recursion, keep on using recursion, just reuse the value from the stack. So just maintain one cache memory. Just maintain one extra array let's name it as cache. So cache memory means like you already have executed F2, so why not store this call in an array? Okay, on second index, simply store the sum, and whenever you see n becomes 2, pick the value of n from here. So that's why it says that maintain one cache, maintain one extra array to store the answers. In tabulation bottom-up approach, it is recommended that instead of using recursion, use loop. Use loop instead of recursion. Because the problem that we can solve using recursion can be also solved using loop simply. All right. So either of the approach you can try to use DP.